UC Berkeley, the #1 public university in the world, is home to over 50 Nobel laureates and 207 Olympic medals. Despite housing such incredible accomplishments, UC Berkeley is facing hardship in housing its students. This is UC Berkeley, a housing crisis.
What is the housing crisis?
When compared to any other campus in the UC system, UC Berkeley houses the lowest percentage of its undergraduate students, approximately 22% of undergraduates when compared to the UC system average of 38%.
We at the Berkeley Student Cooperative provide 1,260 bed spaces, and the financial aid office estimates say that about 7 times that many UC Berkeley students alone require our affordability, yet are unable to find housing that meets their financial needs. There's currently a homeless student union at UC Berkeley, which I think just highlights how much of a problem this is, the fact that such a union even has to exist.
What are the causes of this crisis?
Throughout the past few decades, housing prices in the Bay Area have skyrocketed far beyond the average cost of housing in other parts of the United States as a result of the booming tech industry. Another factor that is influencing prices in Berkeley is known as vacancy decontrol. Since 1999, Costa-Hawkins' Rental Housing Act has allowed Berkeley landlords to increase rent for new incoming tenants, resulting in the average cost of a 2-bedroom apartment being around $3,600 a month. In addition, it prohibited any buildings built after 1995 from being rent-controlled. Some causes, such as a lack of real estate availability, strict zoning laws, and poor city planning, have continued to exacerbate the housing situation. Another reason for limited housing includes the university's mismanagement of land resources.
10 years ago, the university had promised that that site would be, in their long-range development plan, would be student housing. But they wound up failing to build there. Instead, they built something as stupid as a pool across the street from another pool.
With an increased freshman enrollment due to UC Regent's budgeting crisis, new students are no longer guaranteed housing at all. This results in unequitable housing and restricted educational opportunities for low-income students, especially in the years to come.
There's an increased number of undergraduates, and there hasn't been a commensurate increase in housing, perhaps even a reduction in state support. The university's debt capacity, our ability to borrow, to build new buildings, is limited.
What are the effects? While thousands of prospective students visit UC Berkeley, many of them do not think about the external factors such as housing and how this could affect them for their entire college career.
If the university can't assist or provide students with affordable housing, obviously that's going to impact their educational experience, their cultural experience, their social experience while they're here, and it may even impact their desire to attend. So, that's a really serious issue.
All the apartments are so tiny.
Apartments in this area are super run down. Don't live in any of them.
Not everything is rent controlled.
The floors are creaking. I'm paying way too much money. The bathroom is leaking.
All the buildings are so old.
And the rodents are squeaking in my apartment.
That's a really, really big problem. That the top tier school, we're systematically excluding poorer students or making it much harder for them to be able to go here.
College is hard enough as it is, and to require students to confront issues of access and affordability, that's something the university sees as a serious problem, and that's why we're taking concerted steps to address it.
What are some solutions?
There have been multiple attempts to reduce the negative impacts the housing crisis has had on residents in the Berkeley area by numerous organizations. At a university level, the chancellor has recognized the housing crisis as a serious issue and as a result assembled a housing task force in order to devise a master housing plan for the UC Berkeley campus. This task force would be evaluating potential sites for developing new housing, including some controversial sites such as People's Park and the Student Organic Gardens. One housing project currently underway is the Bancroft Residence Hall, which is slated to open August 2018 and provide 775 beds. While this is a step in the right direction, the university is expected to increase enrollment by over 2,000 students in August 2017, a full year earlier than the opening of the new residence hall.
In order to get to the average of the other 9 campuses, we would need to build a net 6,000 new beds, and that's before accounting for increased enrollment.
Due to the space limitations and the encumbering timeframe required to build new residence halls, the university has also been working on the behalf of students to negotiate master leases.
The campus is talking to landlords of existing buildings to see if we can establish more master leases that would have the effect of providing additional affordable housing to students, undergraduates and graduates alike.
Outside of university administration, organizations such as the Berkeley Student Cooperative continue to work to expand the amount of affordable bed space.
In addition, we also engage in political advocacy for affordable housing. Measure U1, which passed in Berkeley, was something that I worked on through my role in the BSc, and that was to raise $3.5 to $4 million of affordable housing slush fund by taxing the wealthiest landlords in Berkeley.
The Associated Students of the University of California, or the ASUC, has also recognized the housing crisis as a serious issue for the student body and has recreated the Housing Commission to explore new solutions to the issue. Recent actions, such as the housing referendum on the 2017 ballot, have placed this issue in the limelight. Measure D is another example of previous ASUC initiatives.
Measure D on the ballot, which did three things, and it said student body declares a housing crisis. It said that we demand 6,000 new units of housing built, owned and operated by the university or nonprofits such as the Berkeley Student Cooperative. And the third thing was it directed the ASUC to create a student housing action plan. So we've been working to have these plans of what we need for housing so that we are not just thinking in the short term.
Other possible solutions mentioned include raising the minimum wage to accommodate for a living wage and implementing tenant protection ordinances.
You know, one way to get the housing costs down is to reduce the housing costs, or you can increase the wages to accompany that, passing a tenant protection ordinance so that landlords can't harass tenants into leaving and then raise the rents when they get a new tenant.
While the Berkeley Rent Stabilization Board has been continually attempting to implement a rent ceiling and other forms of rent control to deter unaffordable prices, Costa-Hawkins has deterred many efforts in this area.
We also need to repeal Costa-Hawkins. That's another big project for the ASUC and also for the University of California Student Association, which is a statewide ASUC.
And so the university's hope is that within the next few years that we're going to see a dramatic increase in housing that's available for undergraduates. And the goal here is to provide, at some point down the road, half of all UC Berkeley undergraduates with housing.
There are steps being taken in the right direction, and a lot of difficult choices lay in front of the university, but it's become very evident to all those who live in the Berkeley community that housing is of grave concern and is impacting students' access to quality education.
So the affordable housing crisis is incredibly real and salient in today's college environment, especially at UC Berkeley.
This is something we have to act on and act on quickly.